Hello and welcome to Bookish Korean. Are you tired of just memorizing Korean words and phrases, only to feel paralyzed when you try to build a real sentence? Are you frustrated by the crazy word order? Stop, you are learning wrong. This video is the single most important lesson you will ever watch if you want to speak Korean fluently. We are giving you the code, the master formula to assemble over 100 Korean sentences, starting right now without touching a confusing textbook. In the next few minutes, you will instantly master the fixed subject-object-verb SOV Korean sentence frame, the 5 magic tales that instantly give you past tense, future tense, ability, want to, and must do, the single easiest way to ask any question, the difference between an and 못 to sound 100% natural. Stop memorizing. Start assembling. Let's crack the Korean code. Chapter 1. The bones of a Korean sentence. The SOV secret. Hello and welcome to the Bookish Korean channel. I'm so glad you're here. Starting today, we're going to stop agonizing over dense Korean grammar textbooks and start learning the practical techniques for assembling Korean sentences, just like a native speaker. Forget memorizing thousands of isolated vocabulary words. We are going to show you a system where learning 10 core verbs can unlock over 200 sentences. Our journey begins with the absolute foundational principle, the Korean word order. You already know that English follows a subject-verb-object SVO structure. When you say, I drink coffee, I is the subject, drink is the verb, and coffee is the object. The verb is the second thing you hear. Korean, however, is completely different. It follows a subject-object-verb SOV structure. Let's look at the same sentence in Korean. 나는 커피를 마신다. 나는 subject. 커피를 object. 마신다 verb. The single most critical rule in Korean sentence construction is this. The verb or adjective, the predicate, must always come at the very end of a Korean sentence. Korean is a verb-final language. This is the golden rule of Korean grammar. If you truly grasp this concept, you have already conquered half of the language's structural challenges. Why is this rule so important? In English, you hear the action immediately. If someone starts a sentence with, I saw, you know the context is about seeing, and you just wait for the object. Korean requires you to wait until the very end to understand the sentence's full meaning or conclusion. Imagine a friend says, 저는 어제 명동에서. Yesterday in Myeongdong. What did they do? 친구를 만났어요. Met a friend. 옷을 샀어요. Bought clothes. 밥을 먹었어요. Ate food. The meaning is fundamentally incomplete and unknown until that final word, the verb, arrives. This is the power and the key position of the Korean verb. How to use the SOV rule for sentence building. As beginners, when you want to form a Korean sentence, you should mentally decide on 2 things first, the subject and the final verb. Everything else acts as flexible filler in the middle. Let's practice assembling a sentence using the verb 가다, to go. Step 1. Set the subject, the head. Subject 저는 I, polite. Step 2. Set the predicate, the tail. Verb at the end, 가요. Go, polite. Base sentence, 저는 가요. I go. Step 3. Insert the details. The flexible middle. Now, we can add any specific information, time, place, reason between the subject and the verb. This middle section is surprisingly flexible in its internal order. At place, 저는 학교에 가요. I go to school. At time, 저는 아침에 학교에 가요. I go to school in the morning. At purpose, 저는 공부하러 아침에 학교에 가요. I go to school in the morning to study. Notice that no matter how long the sentence gets, the positions of 저는 and 가요 are absolutely fixed. This stable structure is a huge advantage for Korean learners. Real-world examples. SOV in action. Let's see how this structure holds up in actual, conversational Korean used by native speakers. Example 1, a casual plan. English speaker, what are you doing later? Native Korean speaker, 저녁에 친구 만나서 같이 밥 먹을 거예요. Literal translation. In the evening, friend meet, together meal will eat. The fixed core. The subject 저는 is omitted, and the final word is the verb phrase 먹을 거예요, will eat. Example 2, expressing an opinion. English speaker, This coffee is too sweet. Native Korean speaker. 이 커피는 제 생각보다 너무 달아요. Literal translation. This coffee, my thought then too, is sweet. The fixed core. The sentence ends with the adjective which functions as the predicate delio is sweet. The subject 이 커피는, this coffee, starts the sentence. Example 3. A long narrative. English speaker. I was so tired from work yesterday that I fell asleep on the sofa right after I got home. Native Korean speaker, 어제 일 때문에 너무 힘들어서 집에 오자마자 소파에서 잠들었어요. The fixed core, the verb phrase 잠들었어요. Fell asleep must be the final word that completes the action. Everything else, time, reason, state comes before it. Key takeaways from Chapter 1. 1. Korean is SOV subject first, verb last. 2. The verb is the boss. It must always occupy the final position. 3. Flexibility. The space between the subject and the verb is highly flexible. You can add details like time, place, and reason in almost any order you want, as long as the verb stays put. Master this frame and you are ready to build. In the next chapter, we will introduce the magic tail gory, which you attach to the end of the verb to instantly transform your sentence into past tense, future tense, or polite speech, just by changing the tail. Chapter 2. The magic tail, tense and politeness in one. Welcome back to the Bookish Korean channel. In Chapter 1, we established the fundamental, non-negotiable rule of Korean. The verb must always come at the very end, SOV. That fixed final position is where all the grammatical power resides. Today, we are unlocking the secret weapon of Korean grammar that allows you to turn a single verb into dozens of functional sentences. The magic tail, also known as the ending. In English, you define tense and mood by using separate auxiliary verbs like did, will, and can, or by changing the verb itself, such as changing eat to ate. The grammar is often scattered near the subject. Korean is far more efficient. The core meaning of the verb stays fixed. This is the verb stem, and you attach a tail, a distinct grammatical pattern to the end of the verb stem to instantly incorporate tense, politeness, mood, and sentence type all in one piece. All the grammar happens at the end. Let's use the core verb meogda to eat as our primary example. The verb stem is simply 먹. We will now attach the 4 most essential tails that every beginner needs for everyday conversation. Tail 1. The present tense. The ayo tail. This is the foundational and most frequently used polite ending in Korean, the standard yo ending style. It establishes the present tense, covering actions like I eat or I am eating, and is essential for all polite daily conversations. The rule for this tail involves vowel harmony. If the verb stem ends in a bright vowel like a or o, you add ao. If the stem ends in any other vowel or a consonant, you add oyo. Let's look at the consonant stem 먹. We attach oyo to get 먹어요. This means I eat or I am eating. For instance, you would say 저는 매일 아침을 먹어요. For I eat breakfast every morning. For the vowel stem ga to go, we attach ayo to get 가요. You would use this for 저는 9시에 회사에 가요, which means I go to work at 9. This first tail provides your essential base sentence structure. Tail 2, the past tense, the asoseo tail. To instantly change your action to the past performing the function of the English auxiliary did, we use the past. Tense marker asos, placed right before the polite oyo tail. The rule is that you apply the same vowel harmony as the present tense, but the past tense marker ss sound is added to clearly shift the time frame. For the consonant stem 먹, we attach 어요 to get 먹었어요. This means I ate. You would use this by saying 저는 1시간 전에 점심을 먹었어요. For I ate lunch an hour ago. For the vowel stem 마시, to drink, we attach 어요 to get 마셨어요. You use this to say 물을 2잔 마셨어요, which means I drank 2 cups of water. The simple switch from 먹어요 to 먹었어요 is all it takes to shift the entire sentence's time frame to the past. Tail 3, the future tense, intention. The 이룰 거예요. Tail. To express a strong future plan, intention, or prediction, the core function of the English words will, or be going to, we use the pattern 을 거예요. This is a powerhouse tail for talking about your schedule and making simple forecasts. The rule is based on the final sound of the stem. If the verb stem ends in a consonant, use 을 거예요. If it ends in a vowel, use 알 거예요. For the consonant stem 먹, we attach 을 거예요 to get 먹을 거예요. This means I will eat. You might say, 저는 7시에 저녁을 먹을 거예요. For I'm going to eat dinner at 7. For the vowel stem 자, to sleep, we attach 알 거예요 to get 잘 거예요. You use this for 오늘 밤 늦게 잘 거예요, which means I will sleep late tonight. This tail instantly transforms your verb into a statement about future action. Tail 4. The ability possibility. 을 수 있어요. Tail. Finally, to express ability or possibility, the function of the English auxiliary, can we use the pattern 를 수 있어요? This tail literally translates to there is the ability or the way to do the verb. The rule is the same as the future tense consonant stem gets 을 수 있어요, and the vowel stem gets 알 수 있어요. For the consonant stem 먹, we attach 을 수 있어요 to get 먹을 수 있어요. This means I can eat. You would say 저는 아주 매운 라면을 먹을 수 있어요. For I can eat very spicy ramen. For the vowel stem 하, to do, we attach 알 수 있어요 to get 할 수 있어요. You use this for 저는 이 일을 할 수 있어요, which means I can do this job. The power of expansion, 4 sentences from one verb. You have successfully created 4 full, polite, and functional Korean sentences, covering the present, past, future, and ability just by knowing one verb stem, 먹, and 4 simple tail patterns. For the present, you can say 저는 지금 먹어요. For the past, you can say 저는 아까 먹었어요. For the future, you can say 저는 나중에 먹을 거예요. And for ability, you can say 저는 다 먹을 수 있어요. This is the power of the Korean sentence expansion method. The core of the sentence never moves, only the tail changes. In the next chapter, we will show you how to turn these 4 base sentences into questions and negations, immediately multiplying your conversational power. Chapter 3. The power of politeness and questions. The SOV. Quick flip. Welcome back. In Chapter 2, you mastered the 4 core magic tails to create your base. Sentences present 먹어요, past 먹었어요, future 먹을 거예요, and ability 먹을 수 있어요. These are your 4 pillars of conversation. Today, we will instantly multiply your sentence count by learning how to turn these pillars into questions and negations, all without changing the fundamental SOV word order. Section 1. The easiest question ever. In English, forming a question is complicated. You have to move do, did, will, or can to the front of the sentence. I eat spicy food becomes, can I eat spicy food? The structure changes drastically. Korean is much simpler. The question rule is, keep the entire sentence exactly as it is. Just raise the tone at the end of the final gory. Your base sentence, 저는 매운 음식을 먹을 수 있어요. I can eat spicy food instantly becomes a question when spoken. 매운 음식을 먹을 수 있어요? Can you eat spicy food? Let's quickly review how this applies to all 4 base tenses. Present tense question. You start with the statement, you study Korean every day. 매일 한국어를 공부해요. To ask if they study every day, simply raise your pitch on the final syllable. 매일 한국어를 공부해요? Past tense question. You start with the statement, you watched a movie last night. 어젯밤에 영화를 봤어요. To ask if they watched a movie, 이 어젯밤에 영화를 봤어요? Future tense question. You start with the statement, you will rest this weekend. 이번 주말에 쉴 거예요. To ask if they will rest, 이번 주말에 쉴 거예요? The key takeaway is that the entire SOV sentence structure remains locked in place. This single, simple rule allows you to quickly master conversational questioning. Section 2. The 2 negation forms, the and versus. Chanta strategy. To deny an action, the equivalent of adding not in English Korean provides 2 primary options that are interchangeable in many situations. Form 1, the short negation, and this is the shortest and most frequently used negation in casual spoken Korean. It functions exactly like a small negative prefix. The rule place the word and directly before the main verb or adjective. Base verb 먹어요, I eat. Negation 안 먹어요, I don't eat. Let's apply this to your base sentences. Present negation. 저는 아침을 안 먹어요. I don't eat breakfast. Past negation. 저는 친구를 안 만났어요. I didn't meet a friend. Future negation. 저는 내일 회사에 안 갈 거예요. I won't go to the office tomorrow. Form 2. The long negation 지 않다. This form is slightly longer and is often used when the speaker wants to sound a bit more formal, polite, or emphatic, especially in written Korean or in more serious conversations. The rule attach the pattern, 지 안, to the verb, stem, and then follow it with the appropriate polite tail, 왔어요, 올 거예요. Base verb 공부하다 to study. Negation 공부하지 않아요, I do not study. Real-life examples. Present negation formal. 저는 지금 배가 불러서 먹지 않아요. I'm full now, so I am not eating. Future negation formal. 저는 이번 주말에는 아무것도 하지 않을 거예요. I will not do anything this weekend. Both the short form and the long form, 지 않다, convey the same meaning, but using both gives your Korean a more native and flexible sound. Rapid expansion summary. The 12-pack conversation set. Here is the full picture of how your knowledge has expanded. By mastering 4 magic tales and the simple rules for questions and negation, you have created a 12-pack of conversational sentences from one single verb stem, 먹. Let's clearly lay out the 3 columns you've mastered. Column 1, the statement. You now know how to say 먹어요, 먹었어요, and 먹을 거예요. Column 2, the negation. You now know how to say 안 먹어요, or 먹지 않아요, 안 먹었어요, or 먹지 않았어요, and 안 먹을 거예요, or 먹지 않을 거예요. Column 3, the question. You now know how to ask 먹어요, 먹었어요, and 먹을 거예요. In the next chapter, we will introduce the most essential ability-based negation. The word 못 cannot and integrate the crucial 6 W1H elements to achieve true sentence mastery. Chapter 4. True Mastery Cannot and the 6 W1H Power-Up. Welcome back. So far, you've mastered the SOV frame, the 4 core magic tales for tense, and the basic negation forms, and 하지 않다. You are building a rock-solid foundation. Today, we're finishing your sentence foundation by adding the last essential negation tool and the secret to asking detailed questions. This is where you gain true conversational command. Section 1, the cannot negation. 못. In Chapter 3, you learned how to use the short negation and to express that you choose not to do something. This is volitional negation. But what if you are unable to do something because of physical limitations or external circumstances? For this, Korean has the perfect particle 못. This word specifically expresses the meaning of cannot or be unable to. The rule. Just like 안, the word 못 is placed directly before the main verb or adjective. Verb 먹어요, I eat. Negation 못 먹어요, I cannot eat. The distinction between 안 and 못 is one of the most critical elements for sounding natural in Korean. And volitional negation expresses, I choose not to. I don't want to. Example, 저는 오늘 저녁을 안 먹어요. I'm skipping dinner because I choose not to eat. Mo's inability negation expresses, I am physically unable to circumstances prevent me. Example, 저는 매운 음식을 못 먹어요. I can't eat spicy food because my stomach hurts or I have an allergy. This difference matters immensely in social situations. If a friend invites you to go rock climbing, if you say, 저는 안 가요, it implies you could go, but you don't want to. It sounds slightly rude. If you say, 저는 못 가요, it implies you want to, but you can't. Because you have a bad knee or an appointment, it's polite and appropriate. You can apply 못 to all your tenses. Past. 어제 바빠서 친구에게 못 전화했어요. I couldn't call my friend yesterday due to being busy. Future. 날씨가 안 좋으면 여행을 못 갈 거예요. We won't be able to go on the trip if the weather is bad. By using 안 for desire and 못 for ability, you demonstrate fluency and cultural nuance. Section 2. The 6W1H power-up asking for details. Now that you can make statements and answer yes-no questions, it's time to ask for information. This is where the 6W1H elements come in. Who, 누가, what, 무엇을, where, 어디에서, when, 언제, why, 왜, and how, 어떻게. In English, you break the sentence structure by placing these WH words at the very beginning, like, where do you work? The Korean rule is much simpler because it never breaks the SOV structure. The 6W1H rule. Insert the 6W1H word into the flexible middle of the sentence, usually just before the main verb, and then raise your tone at the end. The WH word simply replaces or specifies a neutral detail in the sentence. Let's use the core verb, 가요. Go to show how these words slot right into the flexible space before the verb. 어디. You insert this to replace a place name. Where are you going? 어디에 가요? 언제. You insert this to replace a time word. When did you come to Korea? 언제 한국에 왔어요? 왜? You insert this for the reason, why do you study Korean? 왜 한국어를 공부해요? 어떻게? You insert this for the method. How did you go to the airport? 공항에 어떻게 갔어요? Advanced integration, past tense, and details. The power of this technique is that you combine the 6W1H with your tense tails. Let's look at asking about what you ate. Goal. What did you eat for lunch yesterday? Assembly. We take the past tense structure. 이 어제 점심을 먹었어요? Did you eat lunch yesterday? 6W1H insertion, we insert 무엇을 into the object position, replacing 점심, Korean. 어제 무엇을 먹었어요? What did you eat yesterday? The final verb, 먹었어요, determines the past tense, while 무엇을 simply asks for the missing detail. The SOV backbone remains entirely stable. You simply replace a neutral detail like yesterday with a question detail like when. You now have a complete set of tools. The SOV frame, the 4 magic tails, the an, mos, and the 6W1H insertion technique. You are fully equipped to build complex, detailed, and polite Korean sentences. Chapter 5. Unlocking Desire and Necessity. The want to and must patterns. Welcome back to the Sentence Expansion Masterclass. You've learned the when of an action tense, the if you can do it ability, and the if not negation. Now, we move to the next level of real-world conversation expressing your intentions, desires, and obligations. This is the core skill that makes you sound less like a textbook and more like a native speaker. In English, you simply insert modal verbs like want to or have to right after the subject. In Korean, these are new powerful patterns that attach directly to the verb stem, replacing the simple tense tails we've been using. We will focus on 2 foundational patterns today, 하고 싶다 and 해야 한다. Section 1. Expressing desire. The 하고 싶다 pattern. The most common and essential way to talk about your wishes, desires, or cravings in Korean is using the pattern 하고 싶다. This is the equivalent of the English want to, or would like to. The rule. Take the verb stem, attach, gossip, and then apply the appropriate polite tail, 아요, 어요, to complete the thought. Let's use the verb 보다, to see watch. Base desire. The stem, 부, plus 보고 싶다 becomes 보고 싶다. This means to want to see. Polite statement. We apply the polite ending to the 싶다 part, 보고 싶어요. This means I want to see watch. Real-life expansion and conjugation. Present desire statement. English. I want to eat authentic Korean BBQ. Korean. 저는 진짜 한국 바비큐를 먹고 싶어요. The tail, 먹고 싶어요, attaches to the stem, bowl, past desire I wanted to. To express a desire you had in the past, simply conjugate the 싶다 part into the past tense, 먹고 싶었어요. English. I wanted to study abroad last year. Korean. 저는 작년에 유학을 공부하고 싶었어요. The past tail is applied only to the 싶다 component. Negating desire, I don't want to. You can easily negate this desire using the short negation an, placing it right before the 싶다 element. English. I don't want to go home yet, Korean. 저는 아직 집에 안 가고 싶어요. The an is placed before 가고 싶어요, asking about desire question. As always, you simply raise the tone at the end. English. What do you want to eat tonight? Korean. 오늘 저녁에 뭐 먹고 싶어요? Section 2. Expressing necessity. The 해야 하다 pattern. This pattern is non-negotiable. It expresses a strong obligation, necessity, or duty, the exact equivalent of the English must, or have to. The rule. This pattern uses vowel harmony. You attach ioya or ioya to the verb stem, and then finish with heyo, the polite form of hara, to do. The final form is often shortened to oyadeo. Let's use the verb ilhada, necessity. The stem ila plus yoyahada becomes ireyahada. This means to have to work. Polite statement. We apply the polite ending to the hada part, ilheya heyo or ilheya deo. This means I have to work. Real-life expansion and conjugation. Present necessity statement. English. I have to finish this presentation today. Korean. 저는 오늘 이 발표를 끝내야 해요. The tail, eoya heyo, attaches to the stem, gutne. Past necessity, I had to. To express an obligation you had in the past, simply conjugate the hada part into the past tense, 해야 했어요. English. I had to leave the party early. Korean. 저는 파티에서 일찍 떠나야 했어요. Negating necessity, I don't have to. The negation of have to is critical because the meaning changes to don't have to, or no need to. You attach the pattern, 지않아도 되다, or its polite form, 지않아도 돼요. English. You don't have to come if you're busy. Korean. 바쁘면 오지 않아도 돼요. You don't have to come. By learning just these two core patterns, 고 싶어요 and 이어야 해요, you have acquired the vocabulary to discuss your daily motivations, plans, and responsibilities, adding critical depth to your SOV sentences. In the next chapter, we will master another pair of essential patterns, try to and decide to.